What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Kev Capital channel. Today we're going to talk about altcoins and we're going to talk about their performance over Bitcoin. So to keep it in a nutshell, we're going to talk about altcoin season, right? We're going to talk about altcoin's ability to durably outperform Bitcoin and how close we are getting to that point, in my opinion. So on this chart, what you see here is you are seeing altcoins dominance over Bitcoin, excluding the top 10 altcoins. Okay, so basically it's the others dominance chart. It's the macro linear time frame on the monthly time frame. And then in the maroon or the red or pink, whatever you see this color as, it's a tough one, you're seeing the Fed's balance sheet, right? Now, we have spoken about this before. Okay, we have spoken about how the Fed's balance sheet, monetary policy, quantitative tightening, quantitative easing, right, is correlated to altcoins' ability to outperform Bitcoin. And we haven't really zoomed out very far. I've told you about this correlation many times, but I wanted to kind of zoom out and also show you how the potential end to quantitative tightening and easing monetary policy is also lining up with our purple box here of major support. So as you can see in the past, right, altcoins have found major lows at this level, okay? And we are getting very close to that level, okay? So when it comes to the risk rewards of altcoins versus Bitcoin, we are getting very close to the point where it starts to become very attractive to want to enter into altcoins. Now, this doesn't look like a big drop, but in reality, it still shows, right? If this were to play out and we were to come down into this purple box again, the altcoins can see anywhere from a 20 to 30% drop against Bitcoin. Now relax, take a deep breath. That does not mean the altcoins drop 20 to 30%. It just means that they underperform Bitcoin by that 20 to 30%, right? So that means Bitcoin could go on a massive run, right, where it would just significantly outperform all the altcoins outside of the top 10 altcoins. Understood? Don't panic. Relax. This is supposed to be a positive video, not a negative video, okay? So this is something that I am watching extremely closely. Now, as many of you know, you may follow me on my X channel, Kev Capital, TA. This is where I've primarily done most of my posting for years. A lot of you may be in the Patreon also. If not, look at the link in the description below. You could join the Patreon for all exclusive access on all of this stuff significantly earlier and more in depth. But you know that obviously I personally hold certain altcoins from much lower bear market lows that have performed very well. But even me would be looking to potentially add some altcoins down at this box, right? And I may even be willing to scale into them a little earlier, right? Because, and to be completely forward, in the Patreon, we've already been scaling into altcoin plays, right? Some of those are already up from the lows from a few days ago. Some of them we're still holding from the April lows that are still up 20 to 30%, right? That's all going very well, right? Very well. Very calculated plays. Allocation process is flawless. Risk management is on point with that. So congratulations to those who have bought in those plays and are making out well on that. But just throwing that out there, right? Like, if we were to come down to these levels, it becomes extremely attractive from a risk-reward perspective to start really looking at the altcoins. And also, monetary policy projections are starting to become looser in the fall, right? We see that the September rate cuts are up to almost 90% projected of happening, right? We know that once that rate cuts start to occur in the fall, that there's probably a high likelihood that the balance sheet runoff is going to end. You know, Powell answered a question to a congresswoman about, is the balance sheet going to get back down to previous levels before 2019? And he said, no, that's not happening. We are not getting that down. He actually mentioned that, we've slowed the pace of quantitative tightening significantly just so that we can ease into ending it, so that we can get to that ample level of reserves and feel comfortable with. So it's on their mind as to ending it, right? So once that quantitative tightening ends and rates start to come down And that probably will coincide with us at least touching this white line, right? I think it's insane to not at least take that risk reward ratio on altcoins and start to really look for those high quality plays on their Bitcoin pairs and start to, if you're not in already, start dipping your toes in the water pretty significantly, maybe even dipping your feet in the water, right? Figure of speech, but you get what I'm saying. From there, right, I just want to throw this on your, right, we're throwing this out there, guys, right? I mean, let's look at, for example, monthly stock RSI, right? Almost bottomed out, all right? It's almost back down to, it's actually at the 0 level, right? So that's a positive. Monthly RSI is the lowest it's ever been. This is all record level oversold territory on all the indicators. We all know this, right? Monthly MACD expansion to the downside since 2022, right? Look at this. Ever since quantitative tightening began, right? Look at your momentum on altcoins. You see how that works, guys? You see how that works, right? Quantitative tightening begins, you've been in a bear market ever since, okay? Right? Same thing with the monthly RSI, right? It's actually about right here, right? Quantitative tightening begins, been in a downtrend ever since, okay? So this is a common theme. We know the deal. Altcoins will be in a bear market against Bitcoin until the monetary policy projections ease to a point where the market is so confident and they can sniff it out that the altcoins will start to outperform Bitcoin. We're not there yet, but we are getting close, okay? So I just wanted to throw that on your radar, something we're going to be watching extremely closely. I am personally getting super, I don't show much excitement. You guys know that. Very calm, neutral most of the time. But I'm actually getting excited about this chart because this is a historical chart, and this is a monthly time frame, guys. Look how long it's been. How many months, right? I mean, we're talking since January of 2022. Think about that for a second, right? January of 2022, right? 3 years, more than 3 years, the altcoins have been in a bear market against Bitcoin, right? And I think we're getting close to the end. As you can see, we're at the most this is the worst right now in 2025. Since December of 2024, the altcoins have performed worse against Bitcoin than any time in this entire cycle. Think about that for a second. And it's the post-halving year, right? I think we're accelerating to the downside in that this is close to the end and that the risk-reward ratio is going to start getting extremely good once we start getting down to this box, okay? So we'll keep an eye on that. If you're looking to put this on your chart, just go to search and type in ratio total market cap excluding top 10. You can actually track it in real time with me, and we'll keep a close eye on that. And then obviously from a monetary policy projection, we kind of just have to sit and wait and see how the econ data comes in. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this content. This is the real deal, guys. This is not fractal patterns. This is not hopium. This is what it takes, okay? This is one of the keys to the altcoin season you all want. This is what it's going to take. This is the reality of it. We've been tracking this for a very long time now, accurately. And I hope you guys will slap a subscribe button and like and comment below. If you have any questions, just, again, leave a comment. If you want to receive more exclusive access and more personal access to me and my, all of the people in the Patreon, then click the link in the description below. It's only $5 a month. You get access to the full Discord, all the trading, all the TA, everything, videos, everything that you want, you get access to. It's extremely worth it. So, again, we'll keep tracking this, and things are getting really interesting, folks. I think it's going to get a little darker for the altcoins against Bitcoin before that happens, but it's all seeming to kind of line up to that Q4, late Q3, Q4 area for altcoins versus Bitcoin and monetary policy. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. Again, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. You guys have a great weekend. Just to let you know, I will be on vacation next week, so there won't be any videos coming. So I'll probably try and push out a couple more here in the next few hours, or maybe even tomorrow, but mainly be packing tomorrow and getting ready to leave. I'll be gone until the following week. So appreciate everything, guys. You guys have a good weekend. Peace.